Okay, so King-Ohger episode 47, Farewell to the People. So we are definitely in endgame territory when it comes to this episode of King-Ohger, because the episode immediately opens up with destruction all around Gira with the cold opening. You see all the kings fallen, they're all taking heavy battle damage, and Gira is the only one standing amongst the fire and the rubble and the debris, and he approaches Dugdead. And then you have Jeremy narrating over by saying, this is the final battle of the Royal Sentai King-Ohger. So right away, this final episode is setting up the stakes for what this final arc is going to be, this big massive battle with Dugdead. And what I thought with this episode is that this episode was setting up with what we'd get leading into episode 50. But this definitely sets up the final conclusion between the King-Ohgers and Dugdead. And I gotta say, I enjoyed this episode. This was a lot of fun with this episode. Some very good character moments in this episode, and we're getting closer and closer to the finale. One plot twist I did not see coming near the end of the episode, and I feel like that could have been the cliffhanger for this week's episode as well, where they could have left it on. But hey, I'm fine with what it's going on, but I'll talk about that big plot twist as the episode goes on. So the episode opens up with our, like I said, past the cold opening where you have all the destruction. The episode after the opening, it opens up with the kings trying to discuss with how they're going to deal with Dugdead, because they no longer have the immortal jewel of life, and as they're sort of planning their battle strategy, Dugdead finds his way into the throne room, and then it initiates into a big fight between Dugdead and the King-Ohgers, and the battle just ensues. We get some really cool fight scenes, some really cool fight coordination between the Rangers and Dugdead. While this is going on, they know that shit is going down, so they have to have a plan to evacuate the planet. That's right, the planet, while everything is going on. So they have all the people from all the different countries, all the civilians. They're planning on evacuating the planet, because if the planet gets destroyed, then, you know, everyone else gets destroyed. So what their plan is to get everyone else on the big spaceship, and then they can sort of form a new kingdom, form a new planet somewhere else away from everything going on. But I feel like if Dugdead is like the king of the universe, then that won't matter, because he'll probably follow him and blow up that planet as well, no doubt about it. So you also find out that the kings are willing to lay down their lives in this final battle, as they've given their sort of symbols to all their retainers in this episode, but then they all decide to rebel against leaving the planet because they want to help their kings. And you have Hat Guy give this big speech saying, yeah, let's do this, give me all the symbols and we'll do this together. And then another Hat Guy shows up, and he's all bruised, he's all bloodied and stuff like that, and he says he's an imposter. And then you have Boone, he walks over to like the real Hat Guy, and he says this one's the most loudest, so he's definitely the real one. So of course, that imposter being Kamijin, and you have Raculus and Kamijin about to fight in this episode, and they cross blades, which I feel like that Raculus and Kamijin need to throw hands, they need to throw blades, because, you know, Kamijin did kill, not Duga, the other one, all those years ago. And there would be some, but not only that, Kamijin played Raculus like a fiddle for these years by pretending to be his retainer. But yeah, you have this moment where Raculus and Kamijin are about to throw down. Kamijin summons like meteors and makes everything start dropping down. But then suddenly, behind him, you have one of the spaceships open, and you have none other than Defnarok coming out of the spaceship, saying that he's back from the land of the dead. Which, I have several questions about this, because one, this kind of takes away from the impact that Defnarok had when he died, like half of like a season ago, when he died at the end of the time skip, because, you know, his death had such an impact on Jeremy, it takes away from that moment. But then again, I'm questioning, how is he back? Who revived him? What is he doing back here? So hopefully we'll get an answer to that later down the line. I don't know. I guess Defnarok is going to be the true king of the Bugnarok in the end, or he's going to be reformed in the end. But like here, Defnarok coming back at the end of this episode does slightly take away his death and his impact from all those episodes. Deathrock's death, like from all those episodes ago. But we'll see where it goes. I'm willing to see where it goes. Because if he I feel like apart from Reculus, he's also the other guy that needs to get a one-up on Kamijin with everything that happened before the time skip going on in this show. So the episode ends with Dugdad summoning several Sephiroth meteors down into the kingdom, and it decimates the area, and that leads into where the cold opening began, where Gira is standing amongst the rubble. But I gotta praise them one thing with this episode, with how it ended as soon as Dugdad summoned the meteors. Like the ending, it just ended because you know how you get that sort of like the next episode preview using, and it's very chipper, it's very happy. With this episode, it plays like a piano rendition of that, and it just slowly cold cuts into that. I think cold cut's the right word. It just slowly transitions into that opening where you just hear the piano playing, and that was like done really well because it could have had this big dramatic moment and then you just hear this chipper upbeat music for the next episode preview of all the zany and wacky stuff going on. But no, I think it handled itself very seriously. So King-Ohger episode 48. I enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I've been feeling burnt out with how these past couple of episodes have been going. The Groogy stuff, or the Groody, that stuff didn't really do it for me. That arc, or that story arc, was kind of weak because, you know, Groody had been built up to be this big threat, and I feel like they could have handled him much easier moving forward, or like in the past. But either way, this episode I enjoyed, and we'll see where this show goes, because, you know, after this week's episode, King-Ohger will be wrapping at the end of the month, so only like 2 to 3 episodes are left with this show, and I do wonder how they're going to end it from here. So anyway guys, what did you think of this episode of King-Ohger? Tell me in the comment section down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, take care, bye.